Hi there, my name is Rachel Goodman and I live in Canada. I'm making this video in March 2020 and boy has it been a stressful time for so many people, and I've been feeling called to share my knowledge about managing stress and also bouncing back from stress. And so here I am, and I'm a wellness coach with more than 23 years of experience. I've helped thousands of students improve their overall wellness, but it's all been in person. And so here I am online and ready to help you. And I've created a series of episodes to help people manage stress and bounce back from stress. So if you're interested, please subscribe and let's get started. So today, what we're going to do is work with some tools and techniques, and we're going to work with some gentle, rhythmic, holistic fitness. We're also going to work with intentional living, resilience, and self care. And the reason why I've chosen those elements are that I found them to be great recombobulators. So, one of my superpowers over the years has been to help people recombobulate. So, to go from feeling discombobulated in a state of disarray to feeling harmonious and recombobulated again. And many of the exercises that I'm going to teach you today are ones that I consider to be wonderful recombobulators. Some of them work with the nervous system, and they're just fantastic. And so I'm excited to share them with you. So, one thing that I want to say before we get started with the physical part of our practice, which will be next, is I've been really wowed by the worldwide focus on care, self care, and care for each other. And I really do feel like we have the opportunity now to really live our lives from that place. And so, as we're going into the movement portion of this, I'd really like you to keep your own self care at the forefront of your mind and your intentions. So, when I'm showing movements, the guidelines are I want them to feel comfortable, appropriate, and nourishing for you. So, if the movements feel comfortable, appropriate, and nourishing for you, please do them. If they don't, please don't. You can skip them, you can modify them so that they do feel better for you. But if something I'm showing doesn't feel good for you to do, please don't do it. So we really want to cultivate this relationship with ourself. Very, very important. And really be there for ourselves. And so in that spirit, let's get started. All right, let's get started with the movement. So find somewhere to do your movement where you can move your arms and legs without bumping into anything. And let's just start with our feet anywhere from right together to shoulder width apart, whatever feels good for you. So right together is a narrower base of support. It takes a little more work to hold that position, and a wider base of support is a little bit easier on the body. So pick what feels right for you. I tend to like hip distance. And just take a moment and ask yourself how you're feeling. So are you feeling like it's pretty easy to relax? Or are you feeling a little bit like this? And if you're feeling this way, kind of lifted up from the earth and a little agitated, that's a very understandable stress response to what is going on in the world right now. So we never want to make ourselves wrong. We're assessing how we're feeling and we're not judging. So there's a difference here. And if you're feeling that kind of agitation, I'm about to show you some tools to help with that. So one that's been super effective for me over the years has been to imagine that I have little taps on my feet, and you're just going to open them and let the stress drain out. Just open the taps, one on each foot, and let the stress drain out. And then you can start to feel the support of the earth underneath you in a whole new way. We are actually one with the earth. We're connected to the earth. So remembering that is also really helpful. I find it very reassuring. So I'm going to show you some alignment tips before I go into the next part of exercise. And so one of the main things is your pelvis. So you want to have it nice and neutral. You don't want it to be tipped one way or the other. Nice and neutral, meaning the tailbone's hanging straight down. And then the other thing that I really want to point out with that is your knees. So
your knees should have a little micro bend in them, or we call them soft knees, because if they're locked, look what happens to your pelvis. So let there be some freedom in there. And then we are also going to make sure that when we bend and straighten the knees, which we're going to be doing today, that you're keeping your knees tracking in line with your second toes, so the ones next to the big toes. So the pelvis is also staying straight up and down in this movement. Gently drawing the belly button in towards the spine is also very, very supportive for the body. And I want to just point out that all our exercises today have the hips facing forward. So you can imagine headlights on the front of your hips and they're shining straight forward. So let's get started with some breath work. So we're going to inhale, bring the breath up through our lungs. Exhale, press down towards the earth, reminding us of our connection to the earth. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, pressing down. Inhaling, filling ourselves with fresh air. Exhaling, pressing down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. And 1 more for now. Inhale, up. And exhale down, really connecting to the earth there. All right, we're going to do some open close now, and that's a very therapeutic movement pattern for times of stress. So in times of stress, we tend to want to curl in. It's a natural human reflex. So again, we don't want to make ourselves wrong for it. We all do it if we feel threatened. So having rhythmic opening and closing movements can really, really help to resolve some of that. So we're inhaling to open, exhaling to come in. And now let the breath tell you when it's time to do each phase of the movement. So let the breath tell you when it's time to inhale and reach your arms out, and let the breath tell you when it's time to exhale and come in. Let's do 3 more. Open and close. Good. And then let the shoulders be nice and relaxed here. Let's actually do some wrist, elbow, shoulder rolls. So these are kind of fun. So let's do some wrist circles. And then some elbow circles. And then some shoulder circles. And when you're doing the shoulder circles or any movement with the upper body, really, try to keep a little bit of space under your underarms. Well, any of the movements we're doing today, I should say, with your upper body. Keep a little bit of space under your underarms so that you're not doing the whole T-Rex thing, right? So feel the difference between that. That feels kind of stressy. This feels, whoo, like there's some space here. All right, let's come forward now. So keeping the collarbone nice and wide, we're going to shoulder roll forward. And then we're going to elbow roll forward. And then we're going to wrist roll forward. Good. And then stretch through your fingertips. So that's one thing that's really nice to know is that if we can reach right through our fingertips, it actually is very therapeutic. It's a mood booster. So give that a try. We're going to come into mountain pose now. Feeling big toe side, baby toe side, and heel all on the floor. And imagine there's roots growing out of those parts of your feet. Big toe side, baby toe side, and heel. Roots growing out and connecting you to the earth, being nourished by the earth. And now ask yourself, what kind of expression of earth is the most nourishing for you right now? So mountain pose is connected with the element of earth in the root chakra. So what type of earth expression is the most nourishing for you right now? For me, it's a giant boulder sitting on the beach being baked by the sun. What is it for you? Is it a mountain? Is it a field? Is it a garden? Is it a beach? What is it for you? And then ask yourself, what are the qualities of that type of earth expression that are nourishing for you right now? So for me, with that sun-baked boulder, it's that feeling of steadfastness. They're huge, those boulders. And the sun gives it that feeling of warmth, and it's always there. It's always there. There's a boulder on the beach where I live, it's always there. And so for me, it's that feeling steadfast, warm, always there. What is it for you? And it's okay if you don't have all the answers right now. You can journal about it later or think about it later. You can come into this practice again later. But just start to ponder that for yourself. And another thing I really want to emphasize is that with the earth energy and the root chakra and mountain pose, we can use the affirmation, I am. I am. All right, we're going to move to the upper body now. And in holistic fitness, we use the concept of earth and sky a lot. And so the concept behind that is that earth is our lower body, supports us and gives us stability. And our upper body then can have some more freedom and choice. Well, we might not be feeling like we have a lot of freedom and choice at the moment in our lives, but I can show you some ways to access that through the heart space. So sky is the element of air, and the heart is the element of air. And so one meditation that I use with my students a lot, moving meditation, is how can we let the actions of our heart be expressed, or sorry, the intentions of our heart be expressed through our actions in the world? How can we let the intentions of our heart be expressed through our actions in the world? That question is really at the crux of what so many people are facing right now. And it's a really important question. So really take a moment with that. You can place your hands over your heart if you like. How can your actions in the world reflect your heart's intentions? Just take another few breaths there. And then release. And I just want to point out that you just learned some really key tools for resilience. So knowing that the earth is always there, right? And finding a type of earth that really resonates with you for feeling nourishment, support, or really whatever it is that you feel you need right now that you can take from that quality of that element. And then the other tool is that feeling of choice and freedom through the heart space. So we always have the ability to make choices with our hearts. We always have the ability to navigate our lives with our heart's intentions. And so that is something that I want to point out as well. So those are two key tools for resilience, and we're going to keep doing some movement. So the next one we're going to do is called diagonals. We're going to have our hands in our midsection here, and this is your core. So bring your hand right onto your belly button. And another thing I'd really like to point out is that your core goes with you everywhere you go. You are you everywhere you go. And that's just so. And the more we can authentically be ourselves everywhere we go, the easier it is to be resilient, in my opinion. So we're going to just bring our legs out to the sides, like so. I really like diagonals. Let's bring our hands back onto our belly buttons here. And so the legs are just doing this side tap. Now the arms are going to carve a diagonal. Carve. And bring your hand back to your belly button each time. Carve. 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 Now you can think of this as clearing space for yourself, clearing through confusion. Again, it's a nice rhythmic open and close movement, which really helps the nervous system in times of stress. And so we're opening, we're carving space, we're intentionally moving through space. using our intentions to move through space. Good, let's do 2 more. 2 and 1. Nice. And give the shoulders a nice little roll. All right, we're going to come into a cross lateral movement pattern here. So for this one, you're going to have your arms out to the sides, and I can see my hands out of the corners of my eyes here, so they're not behind me. It helps with balance. And we're just going to lift, 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 and I'm just touching my opposite thigh. Now this is a wonderful recombobulator. It really helps the left and right brain speak to each other effectively. And we're just going to keep alternating. So if you're ever having a day where you're feeling kind of discombobulated, I think a lot of us have had a lot of those lately, we can just do some movement like this, and it really is beneficial. Let's do 2 more. All right. Now I'm going to do one with you called reach and stretch. It's another really great recombobulator. So you're going to reach above your head, you're going to bring your hands to your lower back, and then you're going to bring your heart to the sky, and then come in. So you notice my neck is supported. It's on a nice long angle. I'm not doing any kind of hinging there. So again, it's a nice long shape. Okay. And we're going to add a breath pattern to that. So we're going to inhale, reach our hands up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your lower back. Make sure the breath pattern feels comfortable for you. Inhale, heart to sky. Exhale, lower down. So you can either just breathe normally as you do this, or you can follow that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to your lower back. Inhale, heart to sky. Exhale, down. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to your lower back. Inhale, heart to sky. Exhale, lower down. Good, and then just shake it out. All right, we're going to finish up with a twist today, a seated twist. And so when you're coming into your seated position, just make sure you feel comfortable. So your knees should feel comfortable. If this is not comfortable for you, you can have your legs out like this. It's perfectly fine. You can have them out like this. You can have them like this. And you can also sit off the front of a cushion so that your spine can stay tall. That's a very important thing. So we're going to do a combination of a yoga and Pilates twist. So we're going to bring our hands in front of our hearts. We're going to inhale, lengthen through the top of our head. Exhale, rotate, and then just let the arms float down. And this is a great way of doing it because, you see, if I let go of my hands, I don't ricochet back that way. I'm not forcing the twist, right? I've just come into my natural range of motion and brought my arms down. Now let's just take a few breaths here, feeling both sitting bones anchoring into the ground and wringing out of your lungs anything that no longer serves you. Just intend it. It's part of the twist in yoga. You can use that intention to wring out anything that no longer serves you. So physically, I'm just staying in the same position that I was in, but I'm using my mind and my intentions to do this work. A lot about twists in yoga is about letting go. So just allow yourself to let go of whatever you're ready to let go of. Even if you don't know what that is, it's okay. Our intentions are very powerful. And then come back through center, and let's come this way, and then over the other direction. And again, make sure you're not going to ricochet back. Take a few breaths there. Letting go. Allowing any grief that might come up to release. That's another very useful thing to do in this pose. Releasing grief. Releasing anything that no longer serves you in your highest good. And then coming back through center. And let's get up. So we're just going to do a few of these movements just to finish up. So we're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, connect to the earth. Inhale, fill the lungs with fresh air. Exhale, press down into the earth. And one more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Let's bring our hands into our heart center. And thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. And I just wanted to point out that you really have learned quite a bit about stress resiliency and stress management in the exercises we've done today. So I hope that you found this helpful, and I hope that it makes your journey smoother for you and easier. And I'm wishing you optimal wellness. And there will be more episodes, so if you would like, please subscribe. Blessings to you.